Welcome, everybody. Happy Monday. We are here again on the show. Welcome, everybody. And let's just get right into it. Without further ado, our guest today, Jeremy from What the Hales. How are you?
Doing good. How are you, Paul?
Excellent. I want to thank you very, very much for coming on, spending the time. I know you're a busy guy.
Well, this is one of the things that we have fun with. So this makes it easy to play hooky from work and jump online.
Excellent. Yeah, you are. I've seen interviews with you. I've seen you on Anthony's channel, and I was amazed at the depth of knowledge that you have on YouTube.
Well, in all reality, YouTube is pretty simple. So the truth of it is most YouTubers don't think about it. And that's where, you've always heard the quote, thinking is the hardest thing in the world to do. That's why so few people do it. All you have to do is put a little bit of thought into it. It all makes sense, and you can unlock its potential.
Excellent. Yeah, I mean, I have so many questions and stuff. I want to thank everybody for coming in and watching the show. And I got to tell you, if you can, grab a pen, a piece of paper or something, because I'm sure Jeremy's going to give you some tidbits that you might have not known about. So, of course, you started doing storage auctions or not?
Well, I've been doing storage auctions. I've been doing auctions since I was a teenager. So on YouTube, I started doing storage auctions a little over 2 years ago. And I was just recording life. I mean, it was like an online scrapbook in all reality. Same thing I consider Facebook is kind of just an online scrapbook. And I never thought YouTube was anything or anybody would ever watch. It was just there for me. I recorded a storage unit auction and it got a few views. And I went, people actually want to see this. And from there, I started to dabble a little bit here and there as far as YouTube. But storage unit auctions is always every kind of auction, estate auctions, business auctions, storage unit auction. It's always been a part of my reselling life.
Excellent. Now, I know, so you do storage auctions.
Yep.
You have a warehouse that you actually do sales from, right? Yep. You let people come in and buy.
So I have a what I term a warehouse manager, Tammy. She basically is in charge of anything that would be a local pickup. So Facebook Marketplace, Let Go, OfferUp, you name it. She's in charge of anything that would be a local pickup at the warehouse. And she opens the warehouse up on the weekends for the community to come in and pick as well. So it's split up into sections to where what I would call household goods or furniture to the community. So that would be all local pickup. Tammy's in charge of all of that. And then we do obviously online sales on a large scale volume as well, and that generally is going to be eBay.
Do you have? Because I know you run into a very amount of items from. I don't want to say from a dead guy,
from dead people to pubic hair. This last week, pubic hair. So you name it, we find it.
Do you also set up at an antique mall or anything like that?
No antique mall. Don't do any, consignment shops, anything like that. Really, the money is in eBay. And the reason why the money is in eBay is because eBay is the largest marketplace and you have volume of consumers all over the world. If you're not shipping all over the world, I encourage everybody to ship all over the world. It's easy as shipping right next to your next door neighbor. So there is money to be made all over the world, not just in the US.
Do you use eBay's global shipping or do you handle international yourself?
We will do both. It all depends, but international shipping is literally you print off one more piece of paper and you sign your name to it. That's it. So we will use both, but one is not better than the other.
I've heard a lot of people, I've had people actually say, can you do it yourself because this global thing is expensive. I guess eBay has more fees or they do charge more.
eBay upcharges.
Yeah.
And their business, they have to. I mean, that's how they stay in business. And you'll hear a lot of resellers go, well, I don't like eBay because they up their charges. Well, if I can take, this is what I always say, if I can take this cell phone and I can sell it off eBay for, let's say I get $25, but I put it on eBay and now because I have a worldwide market, I can get $100. But then eBay is going to take $25 of that, which would be unrealistic. They're not taking 25%,
right.
but let's just say that they do. I'm still making $50 more than I could have without eBay. By all means, I'm going to pay eBay their cut. eBay's making me a ton of money.
Wow, Pat D's, you don't have to do that. It's greatly, greatly appreciated. Thank you very, very much for the super chat. On the road, we'll catch replay later. Jeremy knows YouTube. Hope all is well. Good to see George healthy. Yes, I was going to ask you about that too. Thanks, Paul. Thank you, Pat D's. Thank you very much. Drive safe.
Are you healthy? She's shaking her head. She won't get on camera, but she's shaking her head. So
she won't get on camera. Only on the auction nights and the questions.
He's feisty, to say the least.
Hi, George. I'm glad you're feeling better. I'm sure we're all glad you're feeling better. And I have to admit, my wife is a huge fan, especially of the coin pusher videos. She'll sit here for hours and watch them. Oh, I can hear her. And I can hear her from this room. It's like, oh, almost.
It's intense. Those things, they're nerve-wracking. They really are. They're nerve-wracking.
But you're not supposed to film inside there?
No. So what you have to do is what we do. Well, first of all, I always wear a 3X hoodie. So I wear a very, very large, oversized hoodie. And through what we've done in storage unit auctions, I'll back it up just a little bit. When we started filming storage unit auctions, there was a lot of opposition from businesses, opposition from people who go to the auctions because they're scamming the government. They're on disability, but here they are on the side buying storage unit auctions and doing everything they can. They don't want to be on film. Facilities don't want to be on film because they don't want to be known as the people that sold somebody else's stuff, even though they have every legal right to do it. They weren't paid. Yeah. So we really fought through a process of filming to the point where we did a lot of undercover filming. Actually, it's not this shirt. Another shirt. You always see me wearing a black shirt. What most people don't know is that black shirt is actually set up for undercover filming in storage unit auctions. The other thing we did is we have an undercover hat, and we don't use that. So the hat actually has a grommet, and the camera is a grommet in the hat. So what we do there is everything is under the hoodie, and so we in the beginning. We were making people dizzy with movements and things like that. So we knew we had to get to a gimbal. And so we had to clean up the videos with a gimbal and then a chest harness, which is why you're getting very, very, very limited movements. And not only that, you have to stand still, which is not always fun either. Especially,
Right.
well, actually, it gets so tense sometimes. Your butt's puckering and you're clenching, and sometimes it's easy to be still. But we worked through the process much like we did with storage unit auctions when we were getting opposition in storage unit auctions, and so we worked through that process, and where we're at. I think we started doing that like 3 months ago, or she's shaking her head. Yeah, 3 months ago,
Wow.
something like that. But we are set up. We're set up to film incognito anywhere we want to go, as long as it's a legal. We're in a legal state where we can do that. So, for example, we are what's considered a one-party consent state, which means if there are two people, one person has to give consent to film an interaction, record an interaction. And if the other person says, no, it doesn't matter, I legally can film. Ohio is a state like that. There are other states, West Virginia, there are other states. Pennsylvania is an all-party consent state. So when you see resellers going to the flea market or at a storage unit auction, they are putting themselves at a tremendous amount of liability, because all it takes is one person in that state to file a complaint. They lose everything because they didn't actually get the approval of all parties to record. So at some point, somebody's going to make an example in a state like that. So if I were a YouTuber, I would not live in a state like that. I would make sure I was in a one-party consent state for filming.
But I thought if you filmed in a public place,
so
you're fine.
Public place, you have to define it though as well. So public place, by definition is going well. And again, you have to go back to your state laws though too. So public place, even in a public place in a all-party consent state, is going to have a different definition. What state are you in, Paul?
Florida. We're Central Florida.
We were filming in Florida. It's one-party consent. You're in one-party consent state. So that's why we want to get a place in Florida is for filming. So you're fine in Florida.
No, you don't want to get a place in Florida.
Oh, I promise you we do. We just are not going to get a place anywhere near where you're thinking.
No, I'm in Central Florida, which we call God's waiting room. Everybody comes here to die. I can't. We're moving home eventually, hopefully soon, to not Massachusetts where we're from, but New Hampshire.
Yeah.
Just to be with family.
Well, we want to get out of the cold.
And it's funny. Everybody says, you want to go back to the snow and everything. For me, it's all about being near my son and the rest of our family. That's the main thing for me.
Yeah, that's important.
It is. But then Florida is changing so much. It's just it's not what it was when I first moved here 17 years ago. That's for sure. Are
part of those changes because of government and COVID and all that, or is just other?
No. When it's sad to say, but when Hurricane Maria hit, it hit Puerto Rico first and devastated them so much that many of them could not rebuild.
Oh, wow.
So a lot of them moved here. So now, like in the community I was at when we first moved here, was a resort style community.
Sure.
Right outside, they opened up a low income housing, dropped the values in the community a lot. So now, as time goes on, you're still seeing more low income housing opening up here and there and everywhere. And it's just, the government here needs to control it somehow. Don't open up a low income housing community right outside a resort community.
Yeah, you're going to destroy the economics of it.
Exactly. And that's a lot what happens here, and that's what's going on. So that plus the main thing for us is we just want to be near family.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing. Florida is the best time to live in Florida is now. Actually, November, December, January, February.
That's when we want to be there.
Yep, that's it. Everything else, just stay where you are.
Then we'll come back home. We'll come back home up north.
Yep. But so I was always under the impression, I guess, that if you film in public, if you're on a public street or something, and I guess a flea market will not be public because they rent that space.
Yeah, it's a private business. Any business is a private business. But yeah, if you're in a public street, it could even be a public, a federally owned or state owned building. Which even then they're going to crack down on policies. The government is so funny because it contradicts itself all the time. And the reality is, those who are paid to enforce it often don't even know how to enforce it because it contradicts itself all the time.
Right.
All of that becomes important in this conversation if you're a YouTuber, because filming is a liability. You have to know your laws. So yeah, a flea market is not a public venue, unfortunately. It's open. It is a private venue open to the public to come, and just like Walmart is a private business open to the public to come and visit. So that's storage unit auctions the same way. All of these places that we see resellers filming all the time, that's a major liability. And if any of them blow up and make it big, all of a sudden somebody's going to want to go after that. I mean, you always got to find you follow a trail of money, right? If somebody sniffs out money, they're going to go after it. That's why you have to be very careful as you grow your channel.
Exactly. So what I remember hearing you on, Anthony, you said, when I was doing the storage auctions, I didn't want to do the YouTube thing. And then all of a sudden I got into it a little bit more. And because I think a lot of us in the chat, and thank you everybody for being here. We're all, even myself, we're all trying to grow our YouTube channel and our reach and everything.
Sure.
And you just, I guess, you're analytical, you just followed the numbers, or you really dug into it?
In all reality, it doesn't take much digging. And so I would back up and go, when we film, George and I joke around a lot. So when you see our videos, you see Goofy, Jeremy joking around, and everybody goes, well, Jeremy doesn't have a clue. We're in a conversation behind the scenes right now. Jeremy has a clue. Jeremy is a businessman.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And so I'm a businessman through and through. And the common sense, you don't have to dig. It literally is. YouTube tells you how to be successful, and this is what you do. And if you do what they tell you to do, you're going to be successful in the channel. I honestly didn't want anything to do with YouTube. I just wanted to see what it could do. And it began to grow and grow and grow and grow and grow. And honestly, if you apply all the same principles to a successful eBay business, which again, some people may go, well, I have a successful eBay business, and I would look at it and I go, well, that's not successful. You need to change this. Then you'll be successful and growing all the time. But all the same principles apply to a YouTube channel. That's why, and I say this. I say this not to come off the wrong way to resellers, but I say this to encourage resellers. I often struggle looking at reseller channels on YouTube and go, I can't get it. Why can't they make the break into YouTube? Why can't they build? Because all the same principles apply to reselling. You've got to take a quality picture. That's your thumbnail. All right. Yeah. So you got to sell it. I mean, if you just take two things from me today, you've got to sell it. That's your thumbnail. And then you have to tell it. So if you're on eBay, that's your description. You have to tell the story of the item. And on YouTube, you have to tell a story in your videos. If you don't have a story, people are going to click out and they're not going to watch. And it's so simple. YouTube is so simple. You have to get them to click on the video, and you have to get them to watch it. And YouTube will tell you the longer they watch, the more they will promote your video. And so you have to be able to sell it and then tell it. So you get them to click and then watch. Sell it, tell it. That's your thumbnail and your average view duration. If you have the best thumbnails and you keep people watching through your storyline, you're successful. It literally is that easy.
What about the people that would claim or say, well, that's all clickbait?
Well, first of all, I think there's a tremendous misunderstanding of what clickbait is in the first place. So, for example, we've got a video right now, and we've got quite a few people claiming clickbait. And by the way, the more your videos get pushed in the YouTube algorithm, the more you're going to get haters, trolls, clickbait, the whole deal. So the title is "We Found a Body." So number one, we found ashes. We found multiple ashes. So that's a body. That is a cremated body. And so when you go to YouTube, and you have to understand YouTube as a business, people don't search for ashes. So you have to understand who your clientele is. Remember, you got to sell it and then tell it. So you have to understand your clientele. YouTube tells you what people are looking for. There are weirdos, downright freaks out there looking for dead bodies. So if you go to search, YouTube will auto-populate everything people are searching for if you put in keywords. So if I put in dead, it's going to go dead body. And I go, well, that's the number one thing people are looking for, dead body. That's got to be in the title. And they are going to watch it. So if I have ashes in there, they go, well, you didn't find a dead body. That's clickbait. Well, number one, clickbait is used as a negative term in regards to what clickbait is if you promise something but didn't deliver, that's clickbait. Good marketing is, you said you found a dead body. You did find a dead body. You have found multiple. We found 4 cremated people, didn't we? So 4 cremations in there. It's good marketing. You actually you sell it and then you tell the story. So clickbait is when you don't deliver. But we'll have things in our thumbnail. 100%, the entire story is about that within the thumbnail. You will see it in the thumbnail, and people will say clickbait. And my encouragement to anybody and everybody is the same encouragement YouTube gives to every single channel on its platform. Do not tolerate negativity, backbiting, anything. No drama in regards to interpersonal relations. You block it. You block those people. And they straight up tell you, and if you're not watching Insider Creator Academy or Creator Academy, which is YouTube's own channels to teach you how to have a successful channel, you should be watching that. And you should not tolerate. You should have no tolerance whatsoever for people who generate drama, negativity whatsoever. Positive channels are the ones that grow.
Now, okay, with that, and now I have had my bout with drama and in the past, and I tried to for the most part be a loner. Doll's Dolly, we do 2 things, 2 things. We do 2 shows, Friday and a weekend show together. But for the most part, I tended just to go off on my own.
Yeah.
But I have to admit, there are channels out there, and they talk about every different subject. Like I'm on toy channels and different channels. The ones that will have a lot of drama get a ton of hits.
Well, they will get temporary hits. It's the same thing. Somebody puts a woman showing her boobs in a thumbnail. You get a temporary hit because somebody wants to see the flesh. But then when you don't sell the story because it's not there, they're gone. They're never coming back. So you will get that temporary hit and rush, but you're building a long-term business. And so you truly have to protect it and build it as a long-term business. If you want the temporary hit and the rush, go for drama. But I promise you 6 months from now or a year from now, your channel is not going to be doing what the expectations that you have for it. Right.
Like I know I can relate now with one of the latest big drama things. Do you sell on Amazon?
We don't. It's just a personal preference in regards to shoes.
I picked up. I'm a toy collector, as you could probably guess from the background.
And I love the Ghostbusters.
I was like, where?
Your shoulder. In the other shoulder box, down.
Oh yeah, that's the Lego Ghostbusters.
Yep.
It's wherever it went. I remember you saying that you were looking for Ghostbusters stuff for your store. Amazon lately owns the buy box from Hasbro, and anyway, they had this exclusive figure. Well, Amazon is notorious for putting things in a box or just an envelope. They ship it out, it gets destroyed. So people were saying, oh, I just got this figure. They did a whole 2 hours. Just got my exclusive figure, and it's totally destroyed. And man, they must have had like 800 people in the chat. Yeah, they suck, this, that, and the other thing. And I'm saying, oh my gosh, they're getting hits like crazy just being negative on Amazon. They're just bringing on all the drama, and I don't get it myself. I just don't get it. How the drama brings in, I don't know, what is it, like General Hospital?
Birds of a feather are always going to flock together, right? If you generate drama, create drama, you're going to with other people who generate and create drama, or you're going to go woe is me and hope that somebody comes and strokes your ego and goes, yeah, woe is me, and that all that stuff, it's garbage. There's no place for it as far as longevity on YouTube. There's none whatsoever. I think Kathy said, have you guys blocked people on your channel? We probably right now have well over 100,000, if not more, people blocked. It is a daily occurrence. It does not stop. It is nonstop. We don't get a number. What we have is a list. YouTube tells us a list. It's probably closer to 500,000. But we also are upwards, coming close to, well, probably in a couple months we'll be close to 70 million views. So when you throw you're going to hear everything. We get death threats to, we have inappropriate comments to George, inappropriate comments to me, stalkers, you name it. We get it. And so absolutely, we have absolutely no tolerance whatsoever for drama, for negativity, for talking about people behind their backs, any of that stuff doesn't belong on the channel. We won't tolerate it. You're gone.
Yeah, I'm all for that. Definitely all for that. There was a question, because I don't think I've heard you talk about this, if he thinks hashtags are important to add to descriptions.
So hashtags literally do nothing. Again, if you go, Jeremy, where do you get all this information? Creator Academy will teach you all of that. Hashtags do nothing. I mean, it's kind of nice, but it all comes down to two things. This is it. It all comes down to two things. You want to be a successful YouTuber, it all comes down to two things. You have to get people to click on your thumbnail. That's called the click-through rate. YouTube will call it a CTR. So you have to have a high CTR. If they send it, if they push your video out to 100,000 people and only 1,000 people click on it, your CTR is 1%. That's not good. Average YouTubers get anywhere between 5 and 7% as far as a click-through rate. If your click-through rate goes up, like some of our videos, we can get click-through rates 50%. That's unheard of. Unheard of. Wow. So we can get the 50%. Then once it pushes, so then it'll push out to 1 million people. The more YouTube pushes it out in the algorithm, the less your click-through rate goes down because of volume. And then you have to get them to watch the video. The longer they watch, the more YouTube recognizes, and YouTube is a business. It's a multi-billion-dollar business. The more YouTube recognizes this is good for the platform, people want to see it, and they push it to more. So you can go, are tags important? Is this important? Is that important? None of that matters. It all boils down to two. I mean, those are nice fringe things, but the reality is you have to get people to, you got to sell it and then tell it. You have to get them to click, and then you have to get them to watch as much as possible.
Cool.
And so you have to tell a story to do that.
You got to be a good storyteller, basically.
Now, if you have a channel like What the ASMR that we just started, storytelling doesn't do too much, but it's just you're offering a service to people. You're offering, relaxation, and I mean, we're doing a channel with just one shot for an hour, and you're offering a service that keeps them watching. And the ASMR viewers are millions and millions and millions and millions.
I've been hearing talk about that. And is that like the Christmas time Yuletide log?
Yeah. And you want to get watch time, or you want to get average view duration. If you're putting up videos that people fall asleep to, I promise you'll get 100%. So there are really, really easy ways to grow very, very successful channels, but very, very few people actually implement those and do it.
So if somebody had a fish tank, you just point the camera to the fish tank and just let it go.
One of the things we want to do an aquarium, fish tank. Yep, exactly.
Wow. So I could do one in my backyard here and just point the camera to the pond and watch the alligator come out every once in a while.
That's, oh my goodness, he's talking about exactly what we want. We want alligators in Florida. We want so we're looking at property, but it has to have alligators. So we want alligators and turtles. We want the reptiles coming up for the channel.
That's so funny because I don't think you know, but I'm a real estate broker here in Florida. And I remember in the community I used to live in, I was selling a house, and there was a big river behind it, which was man-made by the community. So you could put your boat in and go out to the chain of lakes. So we went up to the second floor, and the gentleman was, unfortunately, he was from London with his wife. And I said, we were looking out the big picture window in the bonus room. And I says, oh, there's one of the neighbors going by now. And she says, what do you mean? And I says, right there, he's about 12 feet long. She says, that's an alligator. I says, yes, you think of any puddle of water in Florida as an alligator. She booked it out of the house, went into the car, and he says, well, it looks like I'm not going to be buying a house in Florida now. Thank you very much.
That's what we want. We want gators. So even with looking at buying property, we think through it of a lens of, all right, this is YouTube now. How will this help grow the YouTube business? And YouTube is a business. You have an exchange with a customer. So you go, here's my video. Will you watch it? And they exchange it with time. And that's more important than money.
Right. So I know we spent a lot of time on YouTube, and I appreciate it. But what about the people, like even myself? I think of every once in a while, gee, I'd like to buy a storage unit. I'd like to get into it. My fear is it's just me. I can't tell my wife, hey, stay home and help me unload this storage unit or whatever. And everybody tells me, well, just start with a 5x5 or a 5x10 or something like that. And then I hear about leaned and non-leaned units, or stay away from manager specials. What is your opinion on those?
Let's go to the different types of units, and then we'll talk about how to get into it. So there are different types of units. So if you see the terms lean, non-lean, manager special, that's really come from storagetreasures.com. They've tried to highlight that. But even at a live auction, there's going to be a unit that the manager, anything somebody leaves behind, which is generally junk, the manager of the facility is going to throw it in an empty unit and try and get rid of it instead of paying for a dumpster and paying for staff to load it and the whole deal. So it goes up for auction. You never, ever want to get into a unit that a manager has already been into, because they've already been into it. It's 99.9% of the time, it's garbage that's left behind. They may have missed something, but it's usually garbage left behind. A lien unit falls under your state's lien laws. They did not pay for their actual rent of the space, and therefore the law allows the owner of the facility to auction off the goods to help recoup the lost cost. And so it's like putting a lien on a house, or it's like putting a lien on a vehicle, or you literally, that's a lien unit. It falls under lien law in your state. So you want to focus on lien units in hopes that they haven't been gone through, in hopes that you can find things of value. So to start getting into it, if it's just you're one person, I say this all the time, anybody can do it. Literally anybody can do it. Okay. I even put out a video going, this is how you do it without ever touching it. My local auctioneer will, instead of 25% commission, if I have him come and pick everything up, he'll do it for 35% commission. Now that's a benefit to me in Worcester, Ohio. I don't even have to touch it. I literally can buy the storage unit and give him 35% of whatever he sells it for at auction. And I don't even have to touch it. He comes and picks it all up.
Nice.
Very rarely, I've done it once, because I want to see what the treasure is.
Right.
But there's always a way. So, and I'll say this to people, there's two thought processes. There is, well, that can't be done. We've never done it before. Or there's the thought process of, we can do anything. There is a solution to anything and everything. Hey, George, the kids are here to ship eBay. So if you are of the thought process of there's always a way, you're always going to find a way. So start small, and then you go, well, I can't transport it. Well, maybe you don't have to. You can sell it right there from the storage unit. You can put an ad on Facebook Marketplace, sell it right there, meet people there. You get so many days, and you go, well, I don't have space at home. All right, well, it's a storage unit. Lease the storage unit for 1 month, sell everything.
Right.
And at the end, when you found all the stuff that was valuable, then what you can do is you can put an ad on Craigslist and go free, everything in here for free. You just have to take it all. There's always a way. There's always a way. You just have to think through, how are you going to do it? But if you're a person that's of a mindset, no, there's no way. This has never been done. We can't do this. This is new territory, which many people are. I understand that many people are. Well, frankly, you're going to live your life in fear versus the freedom of, oh my goodness, there are no limitations. There really are no boundaries. There's always a way to get something done. And there's so much more freedom and frankly, fun in thinking through that process. I used to tell my employees, I've had well over 1,000 employees personally employed by me in different businesses. I used to tell my employees this all the time, and I'll say this on YouTube. The greatest thing that you can ever offer your employee is to be a problem solver, not a problem creator, a problem solver. Anytime any employee came to me and said, Jeremy, we got a problem, I go, great, what's your solution? Because I didn't care that they came to me with a problem. Now, there are a lot of people of a fear mindset and don't think like an employer right now. They're going to go, how dare Jeremy do that? He should have helped them. But the reality is my job is to stretch them and grow them. I paid them to do something, so I didn't have to do it. So when they would come to me, they say, Jeremy, this is what's going on. I go, great. How are you going to fix it? So they're coming to me going, how are you going to fix it, Jeremy? And I always turn it around on them. No, I hired you to do this. How are you going to fix this? The greatest thing that you can ever give me as an employer is to be a problem solver. And so that took a lot of really rewiring individuals in the workplace, because we've taught them through an educational system that 1 + 1 = 2. There is no other way around it. Our teachers feed information to students. They literally go, this is what it is. It only is this. It'll never be anything else. And that's not reality in the workplace. There are all kinds of solutions all over the place, and I need creative problem solvers. Those are the best employees ever. And if you can live like that and go, all right, I'm a creative problem solver, I have the best asset to give any employer. And by the way, I'm my own employer. I can find a solution to this problem. Life is a whole lot more fun.
Right. That's true. That's very true. I mean, I can remember, even because I was management with Walmart for a while, for 5 years. And I always used to tell my people and department managers, my job is to get you to replace me.
Exactly.
I have to teach you what to do, how to do it. You have to work with me so I can get you to replace me. But yeah, I mean, that's what it is all about.
And this is just me. I refuse to manage people. I love leading people in the right direction with the right attitude. And I mean that on my part, the right attitude, because ego can come with that and things a lot. Yeah. I love leading people. I love stretching people to do things that they never thought they could do. I cannot stand managing people. To me, micromanagement it just does not work. There are people that need that in their life, but I'm not a person that can supply that, so it's a bad fit. But right. I love leadership. I love leading people and growing people and stretching people. I can't do management.
I can relate with the micromanaging. It just tends to peeve people off a lot when they're micromanaged, and it's not like you're giving them a leeway to do it themselves. And oh man. And I can remember that certain people, once they were promoted to management, some people, it goes right to their head and they just can't handle it.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah. Yep.
So you still buying lockers today, obviously?
Yeah, I think, babe, did I buy 5 last week? All right, I bought 5 last week, which is the most I've bought in a long time, due to there was no quality here in Ohio for a while. But I bought 5 last week. I still have one we have to pick up. I rented the unit for a month because I just didn't have time to actually transport it yet. And it's got 2 safes in it. And Conky was saying to me, he goes, I don't know how you do it, Jeremy. How do you just throw a lock on it and leave it? And you have 2 safes in there, and you go, well, I'll get to it in another couple weeks. I go, well, I do this so often that it'll still be there. So yeah,
a thrill for another time.
Yep.
That is too cool, though. That is too cool. So are you on all these websites like the Treasures and the Fox and all that to get units?
Yeah, I look at all of those. I always am going to prefer a live auction, because in a live auction you can use your 5 senses, and so it may sound silly, but you want to hear things. So if anybody recalls the Dolomite storage unit that I bought, the movie star Dolomite, which Eddie Murphy came out and did My Name is Dolomite. Yeah. I have thousands of autographs. We sell them like $100 a piece, and it's just relist. I bought that for $200 and some odd dollars. The reason I knew it was a movie star is because I listened, and management were talking, and they were talking to each other while the auction was going on, and I went boom, and I got it. That's the only reason why I bought it, because they said it was a movie star. I didn't know who it was. It looked like garbage, and I got in there, and I've made a lot. And so you got to use your ears, listen to what other people are seeing. You got to use your eyes. You got to see what's going on. You got to use your nose, because some units, they smell horrible. And I realize this is sensitive for some people, but when you're a reseller, when you're reselling and you have items that are saturated with smoke, that resale value it deteriorated. Now, you can go, well, I'm going to sell it to a smoker. That's great if you can find one, but you're looking for items that haven't been around pets, no smoke. You gotta be able to smell that stuff. Although I will say, we bought a unit in Norwalk and it smelled horrible. There was rotten meat in a freezer, and then we did find $15,000 worth of jewelry, so that was kind of nice. But you want to use everything. You want to use everything, and a live auction is the best way to do that.
But you're not only buying storage units within a couple-hour drive.
We'll buy
them states away too.
We'll do that too. Yep, we'll do that too.
Wow.
And part of that is scale of business. So I can do that at the scale that I've built the business, but everybody has to understand. Georgia's, you didn't hear her, but she said the goal is to buy a unit in every single state, just to say we did it. But including Hawaii and Alaska, she just said, but you didn't hear her. But the scale of business is something you got to think through as an entrepreneur or self-employed or fun employed. You've got to go, all right, what scale do I want my business? Where is it manageable? Where is it? Frankly, I've got my hands in too many irons right now, and I've scaled too big and probably need to slice things off. But I'd get a whole lot more sleep if I did. But you got to think through that. What's comfortable? What are your values? What are your goals? And, do I want to generate this much a year or every month? Or, do I want to get to the point where I have employees and I just let them take care? I mean, I don't list anything anymore. I don't sell anymore. My job is to buy. So that was one of my goals as far as scaling and building a business. I didn't want to sell anymore. I knew that was an easy skill to teach. I can teach you how to sell and post a successful post on eBay or online, or deal with the public coming in and do pickups. But the gift that I would say, if you could call it a gift that I have, is having an eye of knowing what to buy. And that's very hard to teach with all that information that's in your head, in my head. How do you transfer that to somebody? And so my job had to be, all right, I got to buy, and I wanted to scale for other people to actually sell.
Right. And so how many states have you bought units in?
I don't even know. Not enough.
So it's not like you have a map and you have the little red dots.
No, we have a map, but we haven't. We were putting the map on the camper, and then we're going to fill the map in on the camper, but we haven't done it yet. She just turned around. She said 7. We're headed to Hawaii here soon, and the goal is to actually get one in Hawaii as well. So
nice.
That'll be fun. They're a lot more expensive in Hawaii.
Everything's more expensive in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Then how do you take the stuff? Or are you probably just going to sell it all from there?
frankly, we'll probably give it all away.
Oh, just so at least you could say you bought one in Hawaii.
Just to say I bought one, and then we can restorage the love and give it away to the community. There's nothing. I mean, if I find gold and silver, I might want to take that home. But I would. There's not much. There's not much that I find in a unit that I haven't found before.
Wow. Do you find though? Now you have bought in 7 different states, and I don't know, the one with the Dolomite. I would figure that would be a L.A. Hollywood area type unit, but you found it in Ohio.
Found it in Rittman, Ohio. He was living in Rittman. He moved from LA to Rittman, and then he passed away. And his producers, the production company that he was under, actually flew in from California to purchase items from me from the unit, because they saw the video online on YouTube. So it's just, people talk about, location. Like you hear the West Coasters going, California this is it. This is great. Been there. No, it's not. It looks exactly the same as Ohio. And there may be, one gem in the rough, but there's also a gem in the rough in Ohio. So it's all the same in all reality. I haven't seen anything different in any location there I go, well, this is so much better over here, or this is better. Honestly, I would say the East Coast is better than the West Coast because the prices aren't crazy. So
right.
your resale value, number one, your living expenses are down, your business expenses are down, your purchasing of units goes down, and your resale value, you keep more profit. So why would why would you want to live in a more why would you want to live in a place that has a higher cost of living, a higher cost of business, to sell something the same amount? You lose profit. Good business goes, move to where business expenses actually go lower, and you find the same stuff.
Right. But now I found, because we would go home to Massachusetts, New Hampshire a few times a year, and we go to estate sales while we're up there. We go sourcing, we go antiquing, and you can always find, or we always find, the real cool old stuff, old antiques up there. Hardly ever here in Central Florida. Nobody's
pulling the antiques down to Florida?
No.
We found them when we went last December. We went East Coast down. I guess it would be this way on here.
Yep.
East Coast down all the way up the West Coast buying last December in Florida. And we had a great time. We found a lot of cool stuff.
Wow. I mean, last time we went home, which was last November, we went all the way up to Maine, as we always do. And all the old stuff, because of course the houses, you gotta have a house there that's 200 years old. But I don't know. There's more Disney stuff there, even though I live 30 minutes away. I can find more Disney stuff.
And that very well may be a volume game for you too. So for example, when I buy storage units, I tell people I buy 1%. 1 out of every 100. You never see the 99 that I didn't buy. Or you may see a couple of them in the videos, but you're never going to see what I didn't buy. You're going to see, it is a volume. I literally have to go out and I have to search and I have to find, and that is my job. I am a buyer, and that is what I do. I buy. I don't spend time selling. So I hunt and hunt and hunt and hunt, and then you get to see what I found. And right. if you spend all day doing that, I bet you in Florida you're going to find more stuff. But it's a volume game typically. I mean, there could very well be more stuff up in Massachusetts and New Hampshire, but for what we've seen so far on our side of things, storage units and treasure hunting isn't any different in any state from what we've observed. And again, that's a limited observation on our part.
Right. If you have a question, just put it in the chat. Not that I'm avoiding anybody. I just have so many questions myself. But Cody did ask, what did Jeremy do with all the witchy stuff he got from the unit with Conky?
This is the answer everybody loves. Listen, anything that I think is immoral, unethical, whether it offends you or not, it all goes in the garbage. So we understand that when we find pornography, there are people who want pornography. We just got a message today. Somebody wants to buy all the gay porn that we find. I'm not going to resell any of that. Anything that has to do with the occult or witches, I'm not going to sell any of that. Now, we also realize that we have viewers that are in Wicca and witchcraft. And I'm not saying anything against those viewers. I'm saying it doesn't support my values personally. I'm not saying anything about anybody else's values, and I will not sell it. So that is my personal opinion, which I ask to have respected, not actually, I'd ask people not to. Here's what happens when I say something like that. Then people jump on it and they want to fight. I didn't start a fight with anybody. All I said is in my personal business, I don't sell it. And so whether it's adult toys, porn, occult, what I would consider occult material, things along those lines, none of that stuff, anything that I deem, and it's my personal opinion. And so if you want me to respect your opinion, you also need to have respect for my opinion. Right. And so I respect your opinion, but this is my opinion. I own it. I do what I want with it. All of that stuff gets thrown away. So I won't resell anything that I think is going to have any harm to anybody in any aspect of their life. And again, those are my thoughts and my opinions. I'm not pushing them on anybody else, but that's what happens.
Cool. Kathy says, what product do you keep for yourself?
Ghostbusters, although I don't find enough of it. Other than that, anything for the bedroom, and believe it or not, this is my bedroom, but it's got a full studio. So anything to where, it's water themed. My whole bedroom is actually kind of beach water themed, nautical. And movies, if there's movies, Blu-rays, DVDs, we hold on to that too in the camper when we're out camping. But other than that, do I keep it? Money, gold, silver, jewelry. The what? Oh, toilet paper. Whoo, toilet paper. You never, ever get rid of toilet paper. When you find toilet paper, that's the best thing in the world.
Wow.
Cleaning supplies. I haven't bought cleaning supplies, and I never will. There's so much. Shampoo. I don't buy shampoo. I've got toothpaste, brand new toothbrushes, toiletries. Now, I'm not keeping used stuff. I'm holding on to new stuff. New
unopened.
Yeah, new unopened, not used. If it's used, it gets thrown away. But that kind of stuff, I will never have to buy. I get it in every storage unit.
Wow. Well, I never thought people would put. Now, see, Dolly. I guess Dolly. Dolly used to work. So we've been doing auctions together. And a couple of weeks ago, she came with 21-ounce silver ingots.
Nice.
And they were all packaged in a folder, untouched. And my thing is, you have this thing in there. Why not grab it? Go to the manager, say, here's my bill paid for the next 5 months. Leave me alone. Instead of letting it go, and then all that stuff, all that beautiful stuff is there.
Okay, so Wednesday, the viewers are going to see a video. I did a Restorage the Love again. So Wednesday, I am looking for a lady's son ashes. Okay, another dead body. I'm looking for the ashes. And I one-up it. She wants her ashes. I tell her she can have absolutely anything she wants. As a matter of fact, I tell her, it's like your DVD VCR combo, that's $150. You can sell that right now, and you could have paid your rent. And I was like, I'll give it all back to you. She goes, all I want is those 2 totes. She did not care. No matter, she didn't care. She didn't want any of it. She didn't want to deal with any of it. She just wanted the 2
Oh, froze.
totes that had memory. There we go.
Yep.
We're back.
Yep.
So,
that's unbelievable. They got all that there, and they just let it go to.
Well, I guess last Monday or last Wednesday, I think I broke into a safe, and they're at a bare minimum $600 worth of silver. And you go, why didn't you just get it out and pay? I don't know. Who the hell knows what goes on in the minds of these people? I mean, I just don't get it. Who the Hales know what goes on in the minds of these people? And so that's where people will go, oh, this is clickbait. There's no way you found silver in that safe. It's fake. All right, whatever makes you happy. And it just comes down because it's too good to be true. It literally is too good to be true. And then we'll get comments like, Jeremy, calm down. Yeah, I would love to see some of these people if they found $1,000 worth of gold and silver somewhere and they didn't anticipate it. How are they going to react? That's great.
Wow, that's amazing.
Personality, I suppose. But man, finding that kind of thing is fun. And how do you figure out any of these people? I don't know.
That's amazing. What was the best item you found in a locker?
All depends on what you consider the best. What do you like the most? Toys?
Well, yeah, sure.
So I find all kinds of toys. So you would think that's best. Somebody else who likes silver, they're going to say the silver. Somebody who likes gold is going to say gold, jewelry. But I mean, how do you beat cold hard cash? I mean, you find money. Money. I can't even begin to tell you how much money we have found in storage units, whether it be cash or coins. And again, you just shake your head and you go, why? Why did they leave it in here? And 9 times out of 10, it's because they're in jail. And so it's usually drug related or something along those lines. But how do you beat that? I mean, the money's right there in your hand.
Have you ever been approached while emptying a unit by the former owner?
Yeah. And actually the very first, when I started 2 Octobers ago is when I started taking YouTube serious and I wanted to see what it could do. We call him Shady Guy. And the guy, I bought the unit and the guy approached me after the auction. And I had the doors open still, the whole deal. And he wanted to buy his unit back. And I figured something was up. And no doubt something was up. And I sold him his unit back for $2,000. He offered to buy it back. So I let him buy it back. Well, not a few months ago, Clear Thrifts, Jesse of Clear Thrifts, we were at the same location. It came up for auction again. He was busted for drugs, so we think drugs were in there. I think that was out, but Jesse did find a handgun in there. So Jesse got it. I was like, Jesse, go ahead and get it. And so it happens all the time. And people will say some of the crazy things we hear. So people will go, oh, this isn't real. Jeremy has so much money, he hires actors. Okay, well, first of all, where are you going to find all these actors and pay all these actors to be at a auction and then approach you and you have all these people? And I just sit there and shake my head and they'll go, well, this is clickbait. It's all real. It's 100% real. It all happens every day. When you go every day. So some people go, I've been going to auctions for 20 years. Okay, well, how many auctions have you gone to in 20 years? 5. Well, I do that in a day. When you go every single day, it is your life. You're going to see anything and everything. And we've seen it.
Wow. Rhonda has a question. What are your thoughts on Beanie Babies?
Beanie Babies. So Beanie Babies obviously were hot. And then everybody goes, no, they're not, but they are still hot. You want to find the tag errors. So the best Beanie Babies have errors on the tag. You got to look at punctuation. You got to look at printing. You got to look at spelling. So you want them with tags. Find the errors. Those are the ones that are really hot. So
what about the ones that way back were $1,500 to, like the dinosaur, those?
I don't know what those are currently going for off the top of my head right now. But if you ever have a question about a Beanie Baby, always do your eBay research. You look at the comp and the sold and see what it's going for currently. But when working on Beanie Babies, for us, it's all about the errors on the tags.
Errors on the tags. That's interesting. I don't never.
That's where the money is at. Tag errors.
Lenny asked, "What do you do with the coinage?" You keep
First thing we do with the coinage is we search for silver, and then we search for wheat pennies, and then it goes to the local bank. It goes through the change machine, and it gets deposited into my account.
Cool. Any other last minute thoughts or anything that people want to get into this should look at? Storage units. You must do estate sales, right?
I have done quite a few estate sales. I haven't really videoed anything in regards to estate sales, But with all reality, with YouTube entering as part of my daily life now, and the amount of hours, which is well over a full-time job. YouTube is well over a full-time job, and I'm a full-time landlord, and I'm a full-time reseller, and I'm a full-time. Yeah, I mean, I can go down a list. It's ridiculous. And then YouTube is well over a full-time job. I just can't do some of the things that I used to do anymore if YouTube's going to be a focus in my life, and we have created that as a focus. So,
how I haven't seen the follow-up on the gentleman. Well, he's not actually a gentleman that broke into your unit. What was the outcome of that?
So the Worcester police did find him. He went to jail overnight. He was released the next morning on bail. So he is out on the streets on bail. We continue to have people stop at the warehouse and go, "Hey, I know where he's at. I know where Mitch is at." And they see him around town, but he is out on bail right now.
Wow. And what's the latest on the warehouse with the?
So somebody came, stole all the cameras. We set up new camera system. She didn't pay the water bill. She has over $1,000 due in water. Water got shut off, so now I don't have bathroom facilities for my employees, and then or myself. But then this last week, she didn't pay the electric bill either, so the electric is all off. So I had the junction box or the circuit breaker box hooked up to run a generator on the building. I have the building running on a generator right now for the employees, and they just have to start the generator every day and then turn it off. Which it's annoying. It's a nuisance.
It is, but what makes these people think, like, how does she think she's doing the right thing? I don't get it.
If I could understand people, if not only her, just anybody's mind, life would be a whole lot easier at times. But I just sit there. I was talking to her business partner this morning, and I was like, I don't understand what she's thinking. Eventually, she's going to have to sell me the building because she's going into so much financial debt. And she's trying to sell me the building, but we are not agreeing upon a price. And she knows I can buy the building. And I know I'm going to buy the building at some point, but it has to be on a reasonable and fair price. And so I don't even think it will go to court. And I was telling him, I was like, there's no way she can afford to go to court. Her lawyer is getting paid based on the sale of the building. If she goes to court, she's fighting him. She's fighting me. She's fighting another tenant as well. And I just can't even fathom what's going through her mind. Why would you go to court to lose even more money when you have none? So I told him, I was like, Brian, I don't even think it'll go to court. Eventually she's gonna have to break and settle. So
I would definitely
for the employees right now, and a lot of viewers, they go, move out of there as fast as possible. No way. That's 2.5 acres downtown Worcester. I'm gonna tear the buildings down. I'm gonna put up storage unit facilities. So it's right where I want it. And she doesn't know the end game, and nor am I going to tell her, hey, I want to build another business here. But that's exactly what I want to do. It's 2.5 acres in Industrial Parkway, and I'm going to put storage unit facilities up. So that's when we get to that point, that's what I'll do.
I often thought of that because we owned rental property, but just a home, a vacation home, Airbnb, whatever.
Yeah.
And I thought about that storage unit thing because down here, they're everywhere. Here, storage unit place right next to the chicken wings. Chicken wing storage unit, chicken wing storage everywhere in Florida.
That's my kind of place.
But I mean, it seems you have a contract that protects you better than a house. They don't pay. You give them so much time, slap the lock on it, and then it goes to you slap a lien on it or whatever. And
not only that, so I don't have to go to auction necessarily. I can actually just say, well, I'm gonna hold on to I'm gonna personally sell it, not at auction. And I can actually resell it all down, and then I can film it too. And go, hey, here's the delinquent person, and I can film it, I can resell it. And
the wrong Worcester, Jerry. Worcester, Ohio.
Yeah,
it would have been a long walk for you. But I was thinking about that recently. I'm saying, gee, you just lean it instead of having to evict them and all that stuff with the house. It makes a lot of sense. And those storage units here pop up everywhere, and they're all full.
Low cost. The fixed cost on them. I mean, you have electricity, low cost. and you're just banking passive income on the rent.
Yeah, makes a great idea. Great business idea. Well, I want to thank you. I know we're at our 1 hour. I don't want to hold you up any longer. I really appreciate you coming in. I want to thank everybody for being here, and I'm sorry if I didn't get to your question or ask your question. We got Rhonda's been posting your link for your channel.
Oh, thank you so much. Appreciate that.
Yeah, Rhonda's she's a superstar. She's been posting a lot of stuff for us, helping us out.
And if I said anything that offended anybody, then number one, that wasn't Paul's fault. That was me. You can take that out on me. I got big shoulders and thick skin.
Yeah.
But hopefully nobody was offended. I like to speak truth to other resellers to challenge, and hopefully you're encouraged and you know that you guys can go out and you can make this happen.
Yeah, absolutely. And I hope everybody took some notes and learned a lot. Definitely, because I know even still I did. I learned it when you were on with Anthony, and now I learned a little bit more. And I want to once again, as I'm sure everybody in the chat, we want George to get better, 100%. And too bad she didn't come on and just say a little hello. But I know, I understand.
I'll say hi in the microphone.
Hello, everyone.
Did you hear her?
Yes. Hello. Not to put you on the spot, but we're all thinking about you. We all want you to get better.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
And I hope everything works out with you, Jeremy, too, with that, because I love the business plan. Definitely love the business plan. I can't wait to see those videos.
The reality is, the more money we make in business, the more we can give back to people.
Right. Excellent. Well, that's it. Thank you very, very much, Jeremy, George. Thank you for being here. Thank you, everybody, for being here. And don't forget, tomorrow we're doing our Swap Meet Wednesday, as usual. So with that, thank you.